Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the Panty Nectar podcast, your host, Panty Nectar.
Hello. I am so happy to be here. Thank you for joining us for the Panty Nectar podcast today. I have a very interesting podcast episode for us. We have never covered a topic like this, but I was doing some research, and I thought, what a fun topic to educate the listeners and myself and yourself on.
Ooh.
So
I don't even know what this is. I'm getting all excited about it now. What is it,
So the episode that we are going to, we are going to talk about erotic electro play, pretty much. So
you're talking about shocking motherfuckers
stimulation,
over
electro-stimulation. So erotic electro-stimulation. Yeah.
Okay.
I have never played around with electricity. I actually choose usually not to fuck with electricity. But as I was reading, I found some interesting things about it, about how it can actually be used for pleasure. And all kinds of things. So I'm going to have some stuff I'm going to read today so we can talk about that.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
I do want to say it does feel like a Monday. It is not a Monday, but I am getting Monday vibes today. I don't know if it's my Radiate Positivity shirt or what's going on, but it feels like a great day today.
Well, could you please explain your view of Mondays a little bit better for people listening? Because most people, when they think of Mondays, are like, "Oh shit, I gotta go back to work." But you don't feel the same way about Mondays.
I love a good Monday. Monday, you get to start the week over however you'd like. It's been a long week previously. Everyone waits to get to Friday, blah, 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 go through the weekend. I think Mondays is a great day for a fresh start. I usually clean the house on Sundays. Everything's ready and done on Monday. Everything flows. I flow. Everything just starts good on a Monday for me.
Yeah, I used to hate Mondays for the longest because I was one of those like, oh my God, you gotta go to work. Yeah. And you wait for the weekend, come Tuesday, it's like, oh shit, only 4 more days till Friday or 3, whatever you count, and that's the thing. Everybody counts the days a little bit differently.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some people were like 2 more days and a wake up. It's like, what does that even? Okay, I got you. But yeah, I love Mondays too. And it's like you talk about, you go through the week and then the weekend finally gets here, and most of us like to let loose quite a bit on the weekends at times, and sometimes there's a lot of shit that goes on during that, so it's like Monday is kind of your time to wash the weekend sins away. Get started for a fresh new week.
And I just think it's very important to celebrate when good things are happening in your life, and really good things have been happening in our life, and I'm very excited to be able to share that energy with all of our listeners, and hopefully good things happen in y'all's life as well. So yeah, I hope you're feeling pumped today after that motivational Monday, Saturday talk. Okay, so this website that I found about erotic electro-stimulation. Have you ever played around with any electricity?
I've been shocked plenty of times, like since I was a little kid, like fucking around with little tasers and just accidentally, sockets or you get hit with just a little bit of voltage. It doesn't. I've never been a fan of it, so I've never ventured off into playing with electricity for sexual stimulation.
Yeah.
I remember when I was an athlete and something would get I'd have terrible back muscle strains in my lower back, and the trainer would hook that thing up to you and shock you. It's like, and that's just a little bit of electricity.
I never did that. Yeah, I don't. I choose to just stay as far away from electricity as possible.
So I think a disclaimer with this whole episode would be, first off, this shit can get dangerous. Don't just go out and start fucking hooking yourself up to your washing machine and turn it on.
Do your research. Please do your research.
We are not advocating for any of this. This is essentially simply the discussion of. So please do your own research, as with everything we always discuss.
So I also want to preface this by saying, a lot of the websites that I read were saying, in our minds, we think of the general, like you were talking about, the socket spark, the electrical spark that you get from household items and things like that. And they do say repetitively throughout the websites, the different websites that I read, that it is not like that. We think that it's like that, and it is not, which kind of could deter people from wanting to explore the erotic electrostimulation, but it is not like that, they say. So when you...
Let's hear about it then.
When you get that in your mind, it's a little bit easier to like relax a little bit. And you're like, okay, I can hear about this. So this specific article was written by Dr. Lisa Lawless, CEO of Holistic Wisdom Clinic. This is the Holistic Wisdom Body Safe Sexual Product website, holisticwisdom.com. It says, what is erotic electrostimulation? Erotic electrostimulation uses a low voltage electric current for sexual stimulation and is the next level in sexual stimulation. It is also known as electro-sex, e-stim, electro-stim, electrical stimulation, and EES. Erotic electrostimulation is when electrodes are placed on the desired sexual areas, thus creating a circuit of electrical impulses which travels along the nerve fiber. This provides both body pleasure, and releases endorphins. Experts agree that using such devices is safe, but only if proper equipment is used and instructions are followed. So that's just an intro to it.
Yeah.
So uses electrodes to travel through the nerves. They're very specific about that.
Yeah. I'm interested in hearing more. I mean, it's, you get electrocuted a little bit when you hook this shit up to you. I'm not real sure how.
Okay, so it says, how does erotic electrostimulation work? The fundamental way to describe using an electrostimulation device is that a power box is typically connected to wires that connect to electrodes. These electrodes may be pads, but may also include dildos. Dildos? I know.
Hey, that's a good one, dildodes. What am I supposed to do with this thing attached to this wire here, sir? It's a dildo. Put it inside you and fucking turn it on. Someone's going to trademark that.
Dead. Oh my God. Okay. Anyways, also includes dildos, clitoral electrodes, labia, G-spot stimulators, butt plugs, prostate probes, testicle rings and penis rings, CBT boards, urethral probes, and other penile stimulators.
So these are all things that can be associated with the electrostimulation.
Yes.
And that's the way of delivering the electricity to the
that
body.
Desired body part.
Yeah. So this goes much deeper than what'd you call those pads at the athletic trainers?
They're tens
pads.
units.
Okay, so so now we're talking about basically taking one of those like power packs or something, and then maybe not that same exact one, but something in that thread, right? And then hooking it up to a dildo. So that dildo must have some type of like the wires must run through it, I wonder, or it must have like some like metal in it, because like most dildos are like a non-conductive, like fucking silicone or plastic, whatever they make them, but it's not metal.
Yeah.
I mean, let me rephrase that. Some of them are metal, right? Them bullet ones that are just steel or whatever. But, you think of like your suction cup dildos. Yeah. That thing doesn't have any.
I don't know how much, like, I don't want to say I'm trying to take my personal outlook on it out of it and picture how it could feel good, but that would scare me something like.
I think, of course, right? I mean, like when doing it right, I'm sure you start out very small and incrementally work your way up. You don't start on 9.
Yeah, no, you're right. Get ready.
It's like you get a new shock collar for your dog, and it's like, oh, let's crank this thing up to see how. Yeah, it's like no, you start off low. So
speaking of start off low, this says, what does erotic electrostimulation feel like? What the sensations feel like depend on what power level you're using and the types of electrodes you use, but it can feel as gentle as a light tingling sensation to a heavy throbbing with muscle contractions using higher intensities. While nothing can compare to sex with a real lover, the use of erotic electrostimulation has been compared with some of the most sexually stimulating sensations available. To those who use it on their penis typically describe it as someone stroking their penis both inside and outside simultaneously.
You get the inside stroke.
Yeah. Listen.
We're always looking for that inside angle.
It says when combined with testicle stimulation, it becomes even more intense and pleasurable, from tingling to a deep throbbing stroking.
Oh my gosh.
So that little tidbit was interesting to me. Like, you can feel it stroking you, so that the nerves must send that up and down. You know what I mean? Like, and you're stroking up and down.
This is almost, where do I have to stick that thing to get that feeling?
Well, like a cock ring, like a
so
ES cock ring or something.
Yeah, so they were saying there's like the cock rings, there's like the
Testicle
testicle
stuff.
things, and then like the prostate. Like, I can only imagine.
Your dick would fucking jump.
Oh man, like that cream pie from the other night when you were riding me, and like you came off of like my dick just like came back and slapped my stomach.
I posted that on OnlyFans, and I had to, at the end of the caption I put, and I just had to. I was like, and please watch Mr. P's cock fly out of me with a thud at the end, because that's all you get. So this says the same applies when using a vaginal probe or stimulating the clitoris. In addition, because of the muscle contraction that the eStim device provides, many find that it acts as a Kegel exerciser and strengthens the pelvic floor muscles to help create a tighter vaginal canal and provide stronger orgasms.
Oh my God.
How interesting is that?
It sounds like every woman out there needs one of them things. Where do I buy them at?
Just fucking buzzing you all the time, squeezing.
Amazon's about to have an influx of fucking pussy electrode cells.
Isn't that so crazy? There's also, they talk about like acupuncture with sexual stimulation.
Okay, so acupuncture, that shit is legit, man. I was very skeptical of it, but I was able to, I was kind of not forced into it, but I went to an acupuncture specialist. It was this weird situation. When I was in Afghanistan and some shit happened, and so they sent me to this Canadian doctor, and the Canadians, like, they're all about, like, where, like, at least in the military side, where I was at, you know, maybe this isn't military wide, or I don't know, but just my experience, it was like the American doctors are like, you know, like all about like scalpel and knives and, you know, like pharmaceutical shit, and the Canadian doctors like wanting to put needles in me and not do any of it. I was like, yeah, it sounds much better.
Cool. So you did it, and it was a pretty cool.
Yeah, I did it for a while, and it was this, like I said, it was fucked up. Like I had a AC joint separation in my shoulder, right, and then over time, like my clavicle, like there was osteophytes, as they call them, that like built up in there, the little bone spurs in between my joints, and then like those would rub on my bone and stuff. And so, long story short, like they sent me to the Canadian doctors, like. Because the base we were at was Canadian base, and they're like, the Canadian doctor, he's like, why are you over here? I'm like, I don't know, sir. My flight surgeon sent me over here. He's like, well, he's like, we can't fix this. He's like, look, this is, and he told me, you know, he's like, there's really not much I can do, but we did the acupuncture stuff anyways, and there was like other people in there doing acupuncture, and well, he didn't, you know, like it was associated with a bone issue, so he recognized, he's like, there's nothing I can do, but. We went through it anyways, and there's a bunch of people there, and I really enjoyed it. I got to learn a lot about it, and it was cool. Like on the walls in his thing, they had like all the stuff about the muscles and how they all connect, and you know, it was like,
that's cool.
Yeah,
I would love
felt
to
like
do
a lab
acupuncture.
rat getting poked.
That's always fun. So this next topic under it says, what is electro-ejaculation?
Oh my God.
Electro-ejaculation has been used for many years in humans and addresses some ED issues. Electro-ejaculation is when an electrostimulation probe is inserted into the male's rectum to produce ejaculation, and is often used in cases in ED for both animals and humans.
Why were you trying to get animals' dicks hard? Wait a second. It's like, oh, we got this great thoroughbred horse out here, but he's about to die, and his dick can't get hard anymore.
They're trying to breed him. Yeah, they're trying to breed him.
Fucking stick a probe in a horse's ass.
As soon as I read that, I said,
oh. Like, what is going on? Like,
but it's
human
for,
beings.
I could see breeding purposes, trying to keep a specific animal alive, species alive, or
and I was thinking, like, is that not like inhumane to do to the animal? You know, like seriously,
they
you think
can't
about
ask,
it.
they can't consent.
But
to
I'm
that.
like, I guess as humans, like, we really don't. You know, unfortunately, the human species seems not to give a fuck much about other animal species, and that's unfortunate. But
this says electro-stimulation acupuncture studies. While there have been very few studies using EES for sexual health benefits, several acupuncture studies are referred to as electroacupuncture. This is where an electrical current is used through acupuncture needles and inserted into the skin. And then it says below, here's some studies. It says in 2011, a study showed that the woman who had electroacupuncture for infertility treatments had a better chance of giving birth. The study was conducted with a total of 309 women who underwent IVF. It was determined that those who had electroacupuncture when their embryos were implanted were more likely to give birth.
Huh,
that's pretty interesting, right?
Yeah, and obviously it was a legit study, so there was a statistical significance to that. I just wish they would say, like,
I know
at what percentage it was, but that's interesting. You wonder, like, and like, we don't realize, many of us don't, like our body is literally electricity. Like, that's what runs your body at.
We're made up mostly of water.
People that know this are like, dude, you're dumb. It's this, but like, our body is like it's an electrical circuit, right?
Yeah.
So like, this stuff is, and then when you realize that your body is an electrical circuit, like, or an electrical being, if you will, an electrical body, a physical mass, like, then you also have to realize that, yes, that the effects of electricity on us, could do all sorts of crazy shit.
Could rewire our bodies, could redo stuff.
I don't mean to jump in, Penny Nectar, but I was just thinking about like, like, at one of the most crucial levels, what happens when somebody's heart stops? They send an electrical voltage into them and do whatever that does, and hopefully get things going. I mean, it's crazy.
It's incredible. Electroacupuncture has also been shown to treat ED when the perineum and penis were needled. So that is your perineum.
Perineum, right? Isn't that?
It's right in between both spots.
Is that like your chode?
No, that's like your gooch or something. Like, it's right down there.
What's the difference between chode and gooch? I don't know.
Chode is your dick. That's the whole thing.
Chode's not your dick.
Yes, when you have a little chode, it's a little dick.
No.
Okay.
Not at all.
Listen, a study done by NIH was done regarding using such a treatment.
Fucking chode. Well, that I have taints running through my head. It's like,
That's what else I was thinking.
You tainted chode.
Let me get through this. For treatment for ED, it was found that there was marked improvement of 39% of men who tried it.
Wow.
Specifically, it also improved the quality of erections by over 15% of patients, and even more promising was the 31% of men who reported an increase in their sexual activity.
Wow. But overall, they're saying 39%.
39%.
So will you read that from the top again? One more time, please.
So a study was done by NIH regarding treatment for ED, and it was found that an electroacupuncture treatment for ED.
Okay.
And it was found that there was a marked improvement of 39% of men who tried it. Specifically, it also improved the quality of erections by over 15% of patients, and even more promising was the 31% of men who reported an increase in their sexual activity.
Okay, so this is really interesting to me on multiple levels because, one, this study comes from the NIH, which is the National Institute of Health, which is the United States, like official,
yes.
So it's that the United States government sees it significant enough that, hey, we need to research this stuff.
Right.
So that's interesting topic number one. And then the second thing is that this shit is actually effective.
Right.
If you got a limp, listen up. If you got a limp dick out there, you need to be researching this stuff. I'm dead serious. Like, look.
I think like meditation and all of that, there is healing factors in.
How much money and marketing and advertising dollars is spent towards men for erectile dysfunction on TV commercials alone?
Mm-hmm.
And if we see here that this shit, according to the National Institute of Health, has 39% efficacy roughly.
Over acupuncture.
Yeah, I mean, then we don't know what the acupuncture numbers were. We're just saying that it was 39% effective. That's all we know, right? Which is a lot. That's a ton. So I would definitely be researching this if I had a limp dick.
Compared to putting a chemical in your body that can redo your body to do what it needs to do. This would definitely be a great thing to search up.
Exactly. Or you can go to Dr. Pfizer and let fucking Dr. Pfizer put a blue pill in you and a fucking jab in your arm, and so you walk around like a raped fucking alien.
Yeah. That was fucking intense.
That's intense. Like Elon Musk, he's an alien. We were talking about. Do you think Elon Musk is really an alien?
That's a tough question.
Why is he trying so hard to get back into outer space, right?
They dumped his ass here.
Yeah, he's like, get me out of here.
No, I think either two things: Elon's an alien, or he's just like has an incredible different way of thinking about things than people on Earth do. Whatever that means.
I'm very thankful for Elon Musk and giving us a platform to discuss topics pretty freely on.
So this last little paragraph of the article actually talks about the development of electrostimulation sex toys by the sex toy manufacturers. Always include scientific and medical studies. And at one of the largest sex toys manufacturers in the world, California Exotics LLC, 2 medical professionals created a unique electrostimulation dildo apparatus to strengthen women's pelvic floor muscles.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
You're always talking about that too. That's something you've been talking about, pelvic floor exercises, for a long
because
years.
It's so important, especially like when you have kids and those muscles weaken and our posture weakens and things like that. Like pelvic floor strengthening is so important.
So they're using this. So
they're using this as sending a signal to those deep pelvic floor muscles that activate. So when you do diaphragmatic breathing, pelvic floor work, when you breathe, you inhale and you lower your pelvic floor and relax almost. When you exhale, you pull everything back in and up. Including you do a Kegel then. People think that you just do Kegels and like that's going to strengthen your pelvic floor. It's not. You have to work your whole diaphragm to do that movement. And so what this does, I'm assuming, is sends a shock, not a hard shock, but sends some kind of stimulation there that makes you activate those muscles that are kind of harder to activate on their own.
So it's just
neat.
It is.
That's
neat.
exciting to me.
You're
I'm
all
like, that's
pumped
so
up over
exciting.
here.
I need one.
You're looking around at your electrical shit and batteries around the room. Like, oh, there's an electrical cord.
That's such an interesting. I think one thing that I'm very passionate about is the body, and I think like we were talking about, very opposed to chemical things in your body and surgeries that are unnecessary. So like something like this is pretty freaking neat.
Yeah, and in most cases your body can heal itself, and we won't go off on that. But so this is, you were saying, so it sends this electrical pulse or whatever, and it's causing the pelvic floor muscles to contract. And so it's basically the same thing like I was talking about.
Yes,
the athletic trainer
unit.
hooking that shit up to my back, and man, that's
activating that. That's cool, right? And that's pretty cool that like the that sex toy manufacturer had 2 medical professionals that created this, not like some sex toy owner created this. Like they actually got medical professionals.
And this was done in like a dildo?
Yes. It says during initial testing of this product, something unexpected occurred. A very unassuming woman quietly admitted that she experienced one of the best orgasms of her life with this dildo.
Quietly admitted. Who produced this? Is this a flyer from this company? No, I'm teasing. I'm sure it's one of those things like it's probably a completely different experience that you never experienced before. And
Yeah.
for many times that happens, it's like, oh my God, it's great. Then other times it's like, oh, this is uncomfortable. Not really sure what to think of this. But
Yeah. If you are, a medical professional that is listening, if you have dealt with anything that has to do with EES or anything like this, I would love for you to write Mr. P, and we would love to hear some professional outlook on this topic. I think it'd be really cool. So
Yeah.
if anyone is into that and does any of that, please write me and I'd love to chit chat about it.
Chit chatting panty nectar.
I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode of the Panty Nectar podcast, all about EES, erotic electric stimulation, and we will see you guys for the next episode.
After we hit up Amazon and start buying fucking electrical things.
You're gonna be like, what the fuck?
See you, panty nectar.
Bye.